Ladies and gentlemen. Roll the camera. Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Kia ora. Welcome to Serial News. I'm Jack.
And I'm Emily. In today's stories, a new crime wave is sweeping the country. In form of a woolen graffiti, scientists have invented an invisibility cloak. We help them find it, and the latest in weather around the country. But first, a story that will turn your world upside down.
If you think the world is getting more and more topsy-turvy, it turns out you're right. Builders in Germany have built an upside-down house. Before you think you may have read the plans upside down, they did it on purpose. The wacky abode was built as a tourist attraction, as well as being a comment on the state of the world. The house is 23 feet tall and rests on its roof and has steel beams in the attic. Inside the house there are beds screwed into the ceiling, upside-down wardrobes, an upside-down kitchen, and even an upturned bathroom, though it's not known if anyone has tried taking a bath in it or go to the toilet. Normally a house like this would take 3 weeks to build. This one took over 4 months because the workers kept getting confused by the strange angles of the walls. Many tourists visiting the house complain of feeling sick and dizzy after just a few minutes inside. We now cross over to our reporter Louise, who is inside the house. How are you feeling, Louise?
Thanks, Jack. I'm here with the owner of the house, Kurt and Alex, and I'm feeling very interested. So what made you decide to build this upside-down house?
I built the upside-down house for the popularity and the challenge of the engineering of an upside-down house.
What comment do you feel the house makes about the state of the world?
We want to show the world of the new engineering and the skill that builders have.
What are some of the challenges of living in a house where everything's upside down?
Eating, sleeping, everything. But that is why I built an upside-down house.
How did you build this house?
We built it with skill, and it took a lot of building teamwork to build a house that is upside down.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Louise, the Serial News. Back to you, Emily, in the studio.
Thanks, Louise. Even watching that makes me feel like vomiting. And now, for a story that is truly out of sight. Look out, Harry Potter. The world of science is catching up to the world of magic. Scientists in Europe have created a 3D invisibility cloak, which can hide objects with blending light waves. It has been found that the light can be controlled using special tiny crystals that makes objects disappear. So far, scientists have made small objects such as coins disappear, but hope that it will not be long before they are hiding cars, planes, and even people. People have always dreamed of making themselves invisible. One top scientist says the possibilities are endless. We are very excited. However, since inventing the invisibility cloak, the scientists have been having trouble finding it. As soon as we put it down somewhere, it just disappears, the inventor of the cloak said. It appears that they are having trouble finding other things too, like their lunch, which they think might be under the cloak. What will this invention actually be used for? Hoping to see through the reasons behind the invisibility cloak, here is our spot reporter Finn with more on the story.
Hello, I'm Finn, and with me is Georgia, one of the scientists behind the invisibility cloak. Hi Georgia, and thanks for joining us today. What made you want to invent an invisibility cloak?
Well, I thought it would be good to be able to catch robbers and crime.
Can you show me how the invisibility cloak works?
Sure. Well, actually, I can't find my colleague at the moment, but he's hiding somewhere, I think.
What do you hope the cloak will be used for?
Kids missing in school and trying to run away from home.
What was your favourite part about making the cloak?
We like that it's unique to our country, and we'll be selling it soon to around the world.
Well, that makes things very clear. Thank you for joining us. Back to you, Jack, in the studio.
Thanks, Vin. And how's this for an interesting yarn? A new wave of graffiti crime is covering the country thanks to an underground gang known as the Midnight Knitters. These wool-waving criminals are covering tree branches and lampposts with small jerseys and scarves under the cover of darkness. Police say that the knitters' activities of the gang are illegal because the woolly crimes are being done on public property without permission. The popularity of the woolen graffiti is growing, and more public objects are being wrapped up every night. But the problem is growing. Police say and warn that if the Midnight Knitters aren't caught soon, every tree, lamppost and traffic light in the country will be warmly dressed against the cold. The problem is spinning out of control. They're a close-knit group of dyed-in-wool criminals. We're sketching together a case, but it's not seamless. There are no real patterns to the crimes, a police spokeswoman said today. So far, the criminal knitters have escaped arrest and continue to pull the wool over the eyes of both the public and the police. We now go over to our secret location with our investigative reporter Corbin, who has had an exclusive interview with one of the Midnight Knitters gang.
Thanks, Jack. I'm Corbin Getty, and I'm in this top secret location with members of the Midnight Knitters gang. Hello, Jared and Andrew, and thanks for joining us. What led you to the dark underworld of knitted graffiti?
When my grandma died, I had to carry on the legacy by knitting.
Do you see yourself as a criminal, and why or why not?
No, because we're spreading the word of knitting.
Apart from trees, lampposts and traffic lights, what else would you like to knit with your woolens?
We also cover security cameras, camera before we put it anywhere else.
Does your pet sheep Doris realise you are using her wool for illegal purposes, and how does she feel about that?
No, Doris does not know that we are using her wool for illegal purposes, but I think she knows something is wrong.
Thanks for your time, Andrew and Jared. And back to you, Jack and Emily in the studio.
Thanks, Corbin.
Now let's check out tomorrow's weather with Hugo and Lauren.
How's it looking over there, guys?
In far north, in Katai, looking out for some pretty flash flooding and raindrops as big as your head. If you're going outside, wear a hat. Moving down to Auckland, there will be a mix of fair conditions and unfair conditions, but they are the conditions, and you will just have to accept them. There will be no weather at all from the Bay of Plenty. It's taking a short holiday, but is expected to be back for the weekend.
In Napier and Hastings, the weather will sometimes be changeable and sometimes not. We have really no idea what will happen. There, in Taranaki, a mild depression brings with a very heavy, dull day, with no highlights at all. It'll be overcast and gloomy all morning, but things should cheer up by the evening, so don't worry, everything will be fine.
We'll have another capital day there in Wellington. There will be no wind at all, and the day conditions there will be so pleasant that they'll actually be extreme. In the top of the South Island, Kakura can expect to have a good day, meeting friends for lunch, going for a swim, and reading the newspapers. But try to stay indoors, as the weather will be just terrible.
A real mix for Christchurch, which will have some unreasonable rainfall, some sensible wind, moderate thunderstorms, and some very angry snow. And in the lower south, Dunedin will be frosty, cold, and unfriendly until late morning, when the sun will pop over for a visit. Everyone likes the sun.
That's all from me. Remember, if it's raining outside, that's the weather for you. Good night, New Zealand. Now it's back at the news desk with Jack and Emily.
Thanks, Lauren and Hugo. Well, that's all we have time for. We hope that you've enjoyed this evening's broadcast.
Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again next time.
Until then, I'm Jack.
And I'm Emily.
For your serial news.
Goodbye.
E noho rā.
Ladies and gentlemen. Roll the camera. Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we are featuring an interview with a very peculiar-looking gentleman.
Scene 1, take 1. Scene 1, take 2. Take 2.